Naririnig nyo ba ako?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ah, pasensya na kayo sa background ko. Maingay talaga. So here we have the rationale. There are actually 3 paragraphs, no, that you have to come up with. The first paragraph would actually state the background of your proposal, of the title. Halimbawa, the title of your capstone is about aquaculture, Internet of Things, turbidity analysis using Arduino. You have to give us the rationale by defining the different terminologies in the different terms that are found in your title. So like for example, you have to explain to us, let's say, what is aquaculture, what is Internet of Things, what is water turbidity analysis, what does it do, how it is being done, and you have to define those terms, no, so that we could have actually a background of what kind of system are you trying to develop, or what kind of project are you going to develop. And then you tell us about the background of the project. When we say the background of the project, um, you are going to explain about the process, no? What is the process of doing that project? What is where it will be implemented, or where it will be proposed sa ang agency? And you have also to tell us about the background of the agency. Okay? So your first paragraph should actually tell uh, the rationale, or the definition of the different terms found in your title, and of course the background. Not only the organization, no? Not only the organization where you are going to propose your title, but also the background of the project itself. So when you say background of the project itself, you have to explain it will be used in what is the purpose of the project, why are you trying to propose that project, um, para saan yung project, what it is intent for, who will use the project, what are the benefits of the project, uh, sort those all sort of those things, no, na kailangan yung i-explain para pag binasa namin yung rationale nyo, malalaman namin kung ano yung background niya. Okay? Ang pangalawang paragraph would actually talk about the gaps. Pag sinabi natin gaps, example of this, halimbawa meron ng existing system, tapos way back meron ng existing system, tapos na version 1, tapos may na-develop na version 2. So upon evaluation, nakita mo na ang version 1 at saka version 2, meron siyang bagay na hindi na-address. So yung bagay na yun na hindi na-address, basically that is the gap. So out of that gap, maybe you can actually draw another project, no, that can resolve that particular gap. No? Halimbawa, sabi ko na nga, halimbawa may na-develop na, let's say, inventory system during the time, earliest time may na-develop na inventory system. At ang inventory system na yon ay, let's say, ginawa lang siya computer-based or stand-alone. Wala siyang network setup, wala siyang in terms of network setup, hindi siya ma-access via LAN or via WAN or wide area network or local area network or mobile network. So basically there is a gap because as we all know that technology is really fast nowadays the changes is very fast. So that is only an example. Kung may inventory system na noon at ginawa siya na ang gagamitin mo lang ay desktop computer standalone, hindi nakakonekta sa network, then siguro nagkaroon ng version 2, pwede siyang magamit gamit ang local area network. So ano yung gap? So tingnan nyo ang sitwasyon ngayon, ang changes ngayon, ano na ba ang trend ngayon? So ang trend ngayon online, ang storage ngayon ay cloud, ang trend ngayon ay mobile based. So siguro yun yung gap. So when you develop a new system, you have to address the gap, no? For a newer version in order that that particular specific gap of the old version of version 1 and version 2, version 3 that they are going to develop, the version 3 that they are going to develop would actually address the gap of version 1 and version 2. So that is what we mean there by the gap. So you have to explain to us what particular gap are you going to address. Another is the problems. Ano ba yung main problem na gusto mong sagutin or gusto mong i-resolve? So let's say like for example, water turbidity. Ang title natin dito is water turbidity. Well, it talks about the manual way of measuring water turbidity. So ano ba ang water turbidity para maintindihan namin? So water turbidity, it is about the precipitation present or the particles present in the water that makes the water so blurred or malabo or ano ba ang ibig sabihin nun? Hindi siya malinaw, no? Hindi malinaw, hindi clear ang tubig. So malabo na yung tubig. Ibig sabihin may mga particles na present doon. So sa fish culture kasi kailangan mo siyang i-measure para hindi mamatay ang isda. So ano yung problema na gusto mong i-address because you want to propose water turbidity analysis. So the main problem there is you have to monitor the level of water turbidity. Meaning to say, titingnan mo, mag-automatic alarm siya pag ang tubig ay malabong-malabo na because it will actually kill the fish, no, in the fish tank. So yun yung main problem mo. Yun yung main problem mo. Ang next is needs. Sa isang agency, kailangan mong i-identify, okay, wala nga sila ng technology na yan. Pero ang tanong, kailangan ba nila? When we say needs, this is an immediate things that you really need to have because it is really important you to have that kind of thing because it will actually improve or help or enhance or whatever transactions that you have. So, gusto mo makita yung pangangailangan ng agency. So kung ang tanong dyan, okay, may system nga sila, wala nga silang system, pero sa panahon ba ngayon ay kailangan nila yung sistema na yon para gamitin? Because there are some agency that exist na hindi nila kailangan ng computerized system. Okay, hindi nila kailangan ng computerized system besides the fact that every organization nowadays are really trying to migrate from manual system to computerized one. But there are still agencies that does not require a computerization. No? Does not require computerization. So there is no need for you to develop a computerized system for them to use. Kasi kailangan nyo rin i-identify ang need because this is very common and the common mistakes of the students committed during the capstone proposal because they really insist that the agency really need the project or really need the system. Pero in reality, hindi naman pala kailangan ng sistema. No? Baka instead na makatulong yung sistema, mas lalo lang sila magkakaproblema. In the first place, bakit wala silang system pero ayaw nila ng system? There are things that you have to consider. Una-una, wala silang pera. Okay? Although libre yung system ninyo, ipapagamit nyo sa agency, but still the maintenance later on, problema nila. Or baka hindi literate yung mga users nila. Okay? So, sir, pwede naman i-train. Okay, pwede i-train. But look at the status of those people inside the organization. Sila ba ay mga permanenteng empleyado? Kasi kung permanenteng empleyado sila, okay, train mo yan on how to operate the system, okay lang. E paano kung sila ay contractual? They come and go. Ibig sabihin, sumunod na 6 months, iba na naman. Sumunod na 6 months, iba na naman ang tao. So, it will actually affect the operation of the company. So, yun yung mga dapat yung i-address, no? So, hindi ibig sabihin may agency na nag-i-exist, may transaction sila, kailangan nila ng system. So, you have to assess the organization whether or not the system is really their need. No? Pangangailangan. Kailangan talaga nila. Good for you if you propose a system that really important to the agency. Walang problema dun. Maswerte ka in that case. No? Now, another thing is opportunity. Why opportunity is very important? It is because okay, meron silang need, pero sabi ko nga, wala silang pera. Okay? Is there really an opportunity to propose that project in that particular agency? Meron ba talaga? Kasi kung walang opportunity, wag kang tumagal dyan sa agency na yan. You have to look for another agency. Kasi pag nagbabad ka dyan, worst thing is gagawa ka ng sarili mong sistema, tapos i-insist mo sa amin na kailangan talaga, there is an opportunity na wala naman pala kasi wala pa silang mga computer, wala silang mga resources. Let's say wala silang manpower, wala silang pera, wala silang technology or computer itself. So walang oportunidad. Okay? Walang oportunidad. Remember that we are trying to propose a project in order to facilitate the agency by improving their services, not only by their services, but also improving, let's say, their income. Okay? So, yun yung mga bagay. Improving their services is one way of triggering the increase of their income. It's actually a factor that you have to consider. Kasi pag na-enhance mo yung operation nila through computerized system implementation, it means to say there will be a lot of customers that will be catered by that agency. So if there are a lot of customers being catered by that agency, so the dami customer nila because of their service efficiency, because of their not only service efficiency, but also about the smoothness of their operation, no? So magandang opportunity 'yon. Magandang opportunity yun. So you really have to look up these 4 variables, no? The gap, problems, needs, and opportunities. That is very, very, very important when you are trying to develop a system for an agency. Then after defining what the background of your project and establishing or stating the major problems that you want to address, now, what particular solution that you are proposing? Ano yung solution na gusto mong i-propose? Anong solution yung gusto mong i-offer in order to solve these problems, the gaps, problems, and needs of the agency? So, discuss the solution in the last paragraph. So, the solution would actually talk about the proposed project that you have. Okay, ang project namin, I will be able to resolve the problems. What is specific problems? In our example, the water level turbidity. So paano niya masolve yung problema ng water level turbidity? So ang tao hindi na siya manually mag-check ng kung gaano kalabo ang tubig manually, but the computer itself would actually notify you by an alarm na ang tubig mo sa tangke kailangan mo ng palitan kasi ito ay malabo na. So it's automatically detected by the system itself. So you have to explain the solution. Okay, that is in the rationale. Naintindihan?
Yes, sir.
Isa lang ang estudyante ko.
Naintindihan po, sir.
Dalawa lang ang nakinig.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please try to be responsive. Try to be responsive, especially if we are having online class. You have to be responsive every time that I have questions para hindi ako nagmumukhang tanga, no? Because if you're not going to respond, I am going to conclude that you are not listening to me. So ginagawa niyo akong tanga ditong salita ko ng salita na wala naman pala nakikinig sa akin. So I cannot see you. Okay, I cannot see you. I can ask you to open your cameras because you would actually complain that it will eat up your data. So I will allow you to turn off your cameras unless every time that I ask you questions, you have to respond to me, please. Because it seems to me that they are not listening. So kung hindi lang din naman, kung naggagaguhan lang naman tayo dito, di wag na tayo magklase online. Mag face to face na lang tayo. Okay, next. I would like to remind you that once I explain this, I am not going to repeat this and entertain any more questions about this. So you have to take down notes. You have to jot down notes so that you will not. Or the worst case is I would require you to record the lecture. So kung may cellphone kayo dyan, i-record nyo habang nagle-lecture ako so that you can actually recall it every time you want to understand what we are talking about today. So let's move now to the scope of the study. So the next item in the pre-proposal statement is the scope of the study. When we talked about the scope, it actually refers to what? Excuse me. When we talked about the scope, it talks about the coverage of your project. Gaano ba siya kalawak? Gaano kalaki ang project ninyo? Okay? So that's the coverage. So when you discuss the scope, you start by the research setting. Saan nyo gustong i-propose yan? Anong klaseng agency? Ilang tao ang users ng system na yan? Sino-sino ang mga tao na involved sa sistema na yan? At when you design a system, ano yung mga functionality ng system ang hahawakan nila? Again, siguro pag sinabi kong functionality, hindi na kayo magkakamot ng ulo ninyo kung ano ang ibig kong sabihin ng functionality. Okay. But to refresh your mind, pag sinabi natin functionality, kung makikita nyo ang word ngayon, ayan, pinipindot ko ngayon yung mga functionality ng Microsoft Word. So you have dyan, ano yung mga functionality ng Microsoft Word na mababasa nyo dyan? Anybody? Ano yung mga functionality ng Microsoft Word na makikita nyo ngayon sa screen ninyo?
Insert.
Ano?
Insert, sir.
Yes. Insert is one functionality. What else?
Draw po.
Correct.
Layout, sir.
Layout, correct.
Design.
Design, correct. Ano pa?
Review.
And then, view, correct. Review, correct. Okay. So, ito yung sinasabi nating functionality. Look at the items that they are going to discuss under the scope. How many people, ilang tao ang gagamit ng system? Remember, sa isang sistema, siguro nakagamit naman na kayo ng system. Like for example, yung enrollment system natin. Yung enrollment system natin, may iba't ibang level ng users yan. Kayo, meron kayong interface lang. Okay? Hindi ba nung nag-enroll kayo, may sarili kayong interface? But you cannot see other functionalities of the system. Hindi nyo makikita yung sa registrar, hindi nyo makikita yung sa OSA, hindi nyo makikita yung sa program chair. Basically, hindi nyo makikita yon. But it is part of the whole system. So meron lang kayong specific na functionality na hahawakan ang bawat user. So when you design your system, you define the scope of the system based on its functionality. So ang hindi lahat ng functionality ng system nyo, halimbawa na lang dito sa Microsoft Word, no, halimbawa ito yung system ninyo, file, home, insert, draw, design, layout, references, mailings, review, view, help, Grammarly, Acrobat, table design, layout. These are all major functionalities. Okay? These are our major functionalities. But look at when you click the insert functionality. There are a lot of sub-functions. May mga sub-functions pa yan or sub-modules. Functionality class is also known as function, or function is also known as module. And each module contains sub-modules. The same with functionality. No, the same with the functionality. Now, you have to define the level of users in the scope. Sino-sino ang mga users? Halimbawa, ano lang ang functionality na ma-access ni student? You have to define that. You have to explain. Tatlo ang user ng system ko, sir. So, ang una si user A. Ito po ang mga functionality niya na pwede niyang i-access. Ang user B, ito din po ang mga functionality na pwede niya ma-access. Halimbawa, si user A, pwede niya ma-access si file, si home, si insert, si draw. Si user B, pwede niyang ma-access si design, si layout, si references, and the rest. Okay? E paano si user C? Ibig sabihin yan, class, si user A, hindi niya pwedeng ma-access yung mga functionality ni user B. At the same time, si user B din, hindi niya rin pwedeng ma-access yung functionality ni user A. Pero may isang user dyan na lahat yan, from file to layout, pwede niya ma-access. Ano ang tawag sa user na yon? Can you please type your answer on our chat box, please? Ano ang tawag nyo doon sa user na nagpo-control ng lahat ng functionality ng isang system?
Ano ba?
Can you type your answer on the chat box? Yes, very good, Miss Kathleen. That we call them administrator. Okay, we call them administrator. So Allen, correct. Mr. Jollibee, correct. Josephine, correct. Akop, correct. So we call them administrator. So you have to define that under the scope. Okay? Kung ilang users, ano yung mga functionality nila. Okay? Next is, what else? So, you have also to specify under the scope kung kailan kayo nag-umpisang mag-start ng inyong
Sinasabi
proposal
ni
at
ma'am.
kailan ito matatapos. So, basically, ang inyong case, ang project ninyo ay 1-year term. Ibig sabihin, 2 semesters yan. So, you have to take note of the
Bakit
timeline.
ang cellphone?
So,
Yan.
pag nagsimula
Cellphone
tayo
siguro.
ng March, mag-i-end
Pinaka
tayo
po?
siguro
Sabi
ng
niya.
mga mid-June. Okay? Na mga
Pinaka po?
mid-June. But of course, since proposal pa lang kayo, natural, siguro ang
Yung ano lang
inyong
yung
timeline would only cover from the month of March to July, March, April, May, middle of June. Middle of June. So, or month of June. So, yun yung coverage ng inyong proposal. But basically, yung inyong capstone 2, it will be continued on August. Okay? Until August. So, and another 4 months for that. No? Kasi isang sem na naman yon. So, yan yan yung scope ninyo. Now, next is the limitation. So, tingnan natin yung limitasyon ng system ninyo. Halimbawa, gumawa ka ng system mo, ito ay let's say sa SMS. May kakayahan ng system mo na mag-send ng SMS. Pero ano ba yung limitation ng SMS? Can you reply to the message being sent to you as the receiver of the message, or it is only one way? So kung one way lang yan, ang limitation niya, hindi siya maka-response. Ngayon kung nag-design ka ng system about computer-based, ang limitation niya, hindi siya pwede ma-access in local area network, hindi rin siya pwede ma-access sa WAN, hindi rin siya pwede ma-access online, hindi siya ma-access sa mobile phone. Those are your limitations. So kung halimbawa nag-design ka ng web-based tapos hindi mo siya pwede, tapos supported by a mobile support, tingnan mo yung operating system mo, baka hindi siya pwedeng ma-view gamit ang mga iPhones. Kasi there are application programs nowadays that when you develop an application program, it can only be accessed using your Android phone. But it cannot be accessed using the iPhone. So that's the limitation. No? Gumawa ka ng isang mobile application, but the limitation is you cannot access the mobile application, the system that we design, kung ang gamit mo ay iPhone. So those are limitations. Another thing, when we talked about inventory, that is a general term. So, talking about an inventory in a big organization, halimbawa sa malaking kumpanya, let's say Lazada, okay? Let's say Lazada. So when we talk about the inventory system of Lazada, it's a very complex system. It's a very complex inventory because it requires payments, it requires tracking of orders, it requires posting of orders, posting of products, monitoring purchases, monitoring return products, so on and so forth. But there are some inventories that are actually designed only in a small organizations. And comparing Lazada in a small organization, there will be a big difference. No? There will be a big difference, or there are actually a lot of differences. And what are those differences? There are functionality present in the Lazada inventory system compared to the small inventory system designed in a small agency or store. So not all features of the Lazada inventory management system are present in the inventory system that are designed in a small store. So it means to say you have to identify what are those functionalities that are not actually covered by the inventory system that you design in a small store. So that's how you are going to discuss. Halimbawa, when we say inventory management system, well, it basically talks about how you manage your stocks and everything. But when you are going to say sales inventory system, when we say sales inventory system, you are only counting the product that are sold and the amount of money that corresponds that product, because you are trying to count the number of products being sold. So that's sales inventory. So there is a big limitation there. It is not, you cannot actually call that it is an inventory management system, but only a typical sales inventory system. So a sales inventory system has a big difference compared to the inventory management system. So malaking magkakaiba. And that differences must be clear in your limitation. Another thing, like for example, the store where you actually design the system has several branches. So you have also to specify that your inventory system will be used by the different branches of the store. But if you only design the inventory system of the store and it will not be used by other stores, and then you have to specify that in your scope and in your limitation na hindi po ito gagamitin sa ibang branches. Ito po ay specific lamang sa branches na ito. Another, if the product that you develop is a generic product, okay? Pag sinabi natin generic product, parang Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word is a generic product. It can be used by any individual in the world. Pwede niya magamit. But when you design a specific product for a specific agency, non-generic product, meaning to say that is only intended for that purpose, for that particular agency. Hindi siya pwedeng gamitin sa iba. So that product is a non-generic system. Hindi siya generic. Kasi pag sinabi natin generic, meaning it can be used by any other agencies with similar transaction to the system that you actually develop. Malinaw?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ang next dyan ay references. Ang references natin, ang format ay APA. What does it mean by APA? APA stands for American Psychological Association. So American Psychological Association is actually an agency setting a standard in citing a literature. Pag sinabi natin citing a literature,
Saan?
ang research mo is about water turbidity using IoT. Now, there is an article published in the web about IoT or Internet of Things. You copied that and you use that in your research. Please, para hindi ka makasuhan ng plagiarism, you have to state the name of the author or the source where you get that kind of article. Hindi pwedeng hindi mo siya bigyan ng citation. Hindi pwedeng hindi mo i-cite yung article na yon kung saan mo siya kinuha because that is not your own article. The moment that you will be caught copying from the article being published in any of the platform, whether it is in the book, newspapers, journals, magazines, or any other form of platforms, or in any sources of social media, okay? That is punishable by law. So you will be penalized for plagiarism, no, in that particular case. So kung ilang article ang kinuha mo doon, pag nanakaw yun, no? Ilang article ang kinuha mo doon at hindi mo sinite yung author, pag nanakaw yun, that's plagiarism. Okay, so if you have 100 literature cited and you fail to identify or cite the sources of those literature review, then you will be penalized 100 times. So I am telling you that early so that you will understand. Okay? Now when you actually cite, you have to indicate the name of the article. Okay? You have to indicate the name of the article or the author of the article. So like for example, Science for Changing World 2016, that is actually the author, no? The author of the article. The title of the article is A Primer on Water Quality. That is the title of the article by Swanson H.A. and Baldwin. Actually, ito nga ang pag-quote nila dito ay mali ito, no? Dapat ito ay nauna. Okay, dapat yan nauna yan. Yan. Swanson H.A. and Baldwin H.L. Tapos, let's say that is 2020, open and close parenthesis. Tama. Science for Changing World 2016. No. Wrong na ba to? Followed by the title of the article, and then wala 2020, this is 2016. Okay, and it was published under Science for a Changing World. So that is how you are going to reference your citation. Okay? So this is, excuse me, this is an APA format. Again, pangalan ng mga authors, sino yung nag-define ng literature na yon. Tapos, title ng article.
Yan ba?
Okay, ganyan. Again, title ng article. Minsan class, baka sir, wala naman silang first name. Minsan kasi wala na to. Okay, wala na yan. 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 Yan, ganyan lang siya dapat. Okay? Swanson and Baldwin, 2016. Tama. Ang title ng article nila, Primer and Water Quality, na-publish dito sa Science for Changing World. Ayan yung title ng website or kung saan siya na-publish na website. So that is how you are going to reference your article. So ito din, ang author kasi niyan hindi tao, it's an agency. So ang author niya ay Minnesota Population Control Agency. So ang author is an agency. There are several things that you have to consider in naming citation. May mga nagsasabi na ang statement ay galing sa isang agency. Meron yung isang tao lang, may dalawang tao, may more than 3 persons, 4 or 5 persons. Pero kung 5 persons na yun, na makikita mo lang dyan, katulad halimbawa ito, meron pa itong, let's say, lalagyan natin example ng alado. Kung tatlo na sila, tanggalin nyo na lahat yan. No? Ang main lang na author ang gawin mo. So tanggalin mo na lahat yan, tama, tapos followed by get. Yan. Okay? So, et al. Ibig sabihin and others. Swanson and others. So, kung more than 3 individuals. Pero kung dalawa lang sila, pwede nyo ilagay na yung dalawa lang na oops. Dapat na. Okay? Naintindihan ang paglagay ng references?
Sir.
Sir.
Kita mo meron? Lala ka.
Okay. So, yan lang. Kung dalawa lang sila. Pero kung isa lang, okay, di Swanson lang, ganyan. Okay? Swanson 2016. Okay. So, kung tatlo et al. Or more than 3, pero pag dalawa lang, pwede yung dalawang author. So, yan yung format ng APA. And then, it will be conformed by your, excuse me, signature of the project. project advisor, and then yung date. So this is an example. Okay, this is an example. Like for example, Tang F, comma, and appears JW. Okay, so 2014, Alzheimer's disease in young adults. So that is the title of the article. It was published under the Journal of Aging. Okay, and then page 222 to 243. Ito siguro chapter 14, paragraph 3. Or pwede rin Stein, J, 2018, short-term memory growth, GAN. This is the title of the article. The unfortunate circumstances related to Alzheimer's disease, period. Science and discovery. So this is the journal, the name of the journal where it was published. Okay? Paragraph 2, chapter 2, paragraph 23, page 35 to 57. So this is the, ano tawag dito, the website. This is the website. Okay. So makikita niyo yan kung sa website, ilalagay niyo yung, anong website dyan. Yung HTTP ng website. So kung hindi siya sa website, sa journal lang, so yung journal lang. Remember class, may mga article na na-publish mismo sa website. Meron yung may website siya pero downloadable yung article na nasa journal. So magkaiba yun na. So meron ding format na sa book, iba din yung format sa books, iba din yung format sa RRL na galing sa web, iba din yung galing sa journal, iba din yung galing sa newspaper. So isa iba't ibang klaseng platform. Sa iba't ibang klaseng platform. Anyway, i-check pa naman yan. I-check pa naman yan. Sir, bakit merong references? Huwag kayong mag-submit ng pre-proposal statement na walang references because it only show na wala kayong basis. Wala kayong pinagbasihan ng inyong konsepto. Remember class, conducting a review of related literature is a very important thing for you to have enough knowledge to support your proposal, to support your concept, no? Na ito pala yung gap, ito pala yung kulang. Okay, may study na rin pala noon, pareho lang pala sa study ko ngayon, kaya related literature ang tawag doon. Kasi dapat kung ano yung mga related sa title mo, yun yung literature na hahanapin mo. So meron na study before, simple pa lang gawin to. So gusto ko rin i-adapt ito. So you have already the idea on how are you going to formulate your concept about your paper. Claro?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So please, I am going to expect that on Monday you are going to submit the three set of pre-proposal statement. Claro? Now, meron kayong time ngayon. Okay? You still have a remaining time. Mamaya 3 to 5. Meron pa kayong oras para magsimulang magtrabaho. The first thing that you are going to do so that you can have your pre-proposal statement is to conduct a review of related literature. Okay? Conduct a review of related literature. Okay. Meron lang akong ipapakita sa inyo para at least you have actually an idea.
Huwag masyado maingay. Bakit? Si Jomel? na si sir. Gagawa na tayo.